Hey everyone, Jacob here from That Time We Woke Up in a Podcast and Had to Explain Manga, our heated adventures over analyzing manga we find interesting, aka the Over Manga Cast. This week we return to the charming world of Sakamoto Days by Yuto Suzuki. We contended with Slur, aka X, pure ethanol, serial killers, and the most powerful force known to man, plot convenience grandpa. Just your typical Sakamoto Days, I guess. Enjoy the show.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Over Manga Cast. My name is Sam, and as always, here at the top of the show, we talk about our familiarity with the franchise we read this week. Nothing different really for me from the last time we did Sakamoto Days. I do really enjoy this manga, and I always want to read it more, but I don't know, other stuff happens, so I'm just glad to do another episode on it. How about you, Matt?
Yeah, so unlike Sam, I don't immediately jump on whatever's popular, so I have not read any Sakamoto Days.
What the hell does that mean?
You saw that there was a Netflix anime coming out, and you were like, ooh, yes, sweet viewership, yes.
Literally you, whatever, Jake.
I was gonna say, methinks he doth protest too much. Based off of where the Shonen Jump app popped me in, I think I read the first chapter of our reading right after we did our previous episode, but unfortunately, there are a lot of things that we read that I'd love to read more of, but don't, because we read an arc of a manga every week. And unfortunately, Sakamoto Days never really came back around in the rotation.
Yep, so we all hate Sakamoto Days, and here we are.
We got a very fight-heavy reading segment here for you today, folks. We open up with the guy from last time, whose name I forget, the simp from the Triad.
Oh yeah, I don't remember the Triad simp's name.
He appears in this chapter and then never again for our reading, so...
Yeah.
He's here to call Lou mistress and exposit while wearing a Sakamoto's apron.
I do like the beginning of this where it's like, okay, we did the little gambling contest like you wanted, so now give us the information we wanted. Tell us everything you know about X. I know nothing about X. We did that for nothing? Let me finish! Because he does kind of have, he has not direct information, but information that could potentially lead to.
Which is really funny, because what ends up happening with this information is it doesn't matter. They're attacked by these people anyway.
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with the pacing, because they are somewhat more prepared for it when these four new enemies do arrive. I mean, it's not like this isn't the kind of manga that's going to kill its main characters, so this fight was going to happen regardless.
Unless it wanted an arc where they fight their way out of the underworld.
You know, if it wasn't for, honestly, this arc, I would say that wouldn't fit with the tone of Sakamoto Days, but this arc happens.
This arc is a lot more serious in a weird way, though. Not like...
It manages to be serious in a way that still balances the, original kind of goofiness of the premise. Early on, the premise was, major badass, greatest assassin in the world, and he retired, and now he's fat, but he's still got some juice, and just, gags around that. It was a lot of silly, little bit of serious, because, he's an assassin. He's killed people, but, you don't see that on screen, and he doesn't kill people anymore because the wife said so. And it's kind of slowly moved to balance those scales. And this is the part that, I don't know if they have a more perfect balance later on, but it does, okay, this is goofy, but also, people can die and get hideously maimed and dismembered.
I will say, it does do a good job. I made the comment about they're not going to kill any of their main characters. It still has dramatic tension and stakes, because even though, that's part of what suspension of disbelief is. Like, even if you know at some level from a metacontextual perspective that this character has functionally got plot armor, you can still be engaged in their struggle. And honestly, the fight with the lowest stakes from that metacontextual perspective is one of the most exciting and interesting fights from our reading section. And I do think, to a large degree, early on in Sakamoto Days, other than one of our main characters having telepathy, and it felt very John Wick-esque. I mean, not to say that this doesn't feel like John Wick, because this could just be a John Wick plot, but it felt like the world of John Wick, like that sort of grounded in reality, except people have super assassin, like not quite Charles Atlas superpowers, but like super precision, basically.
Yeah, and there's secretly a very detailed and intricate network of assassins underneath regular society that people like. That's the absurdity part of it.
Some people are like, people just accept that this is a thing that happens sometimes.
People are so blissfully unaware in this, and I envy them.
So, Sam, how familiar are you with the trope of Shonen Jump gag mangas being turned into battle shonens?
That's all of them.
I mean, it's all of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I this arc in particular gave me the vibes of, oh no, Sakamoto Days, is that what's happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean that it was always headed in that direction, like just by the shape and the premise of the series. But I think the sort of big thing is that early tonal goofiness ends up working well to, despite how real the world is supposed to feel, justify how outlandish the fights are in this section, because this is not a normal world anymore. The degree of superpowers on display makes the fights that happen in this series so much more overtly supernatural than they already were, and that was already a fairly high bar. And it kind of feels like the goofiness of the earlier tone ends up easing into that, while still, because it's like the interplay between mundanity and this extraordinary like underworld is the entire premise of Sakamoto Days. Yeah. And that's what allowed this shift to happen smoothly.
So we've been talking around this for a little bit right now. Let's actually set up our arc here, because it's immediately just told to us by Triad Guide. Basically, he doesn't know anything about the whereabouts of Slur, but conveniently, 4 death row inmates were broken out of prison.
And they happen to have connections to Slur. Whoa!
Specifically, the reason why they know this is a Slur thing is because officially 4 death row inmates were killed by Slur. 4 people were killed with the MO of the death row inmates after they had been supposedly killed, meaning the death row inmates had actually escaped and faked their deaths.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And now they're all in Japan at a McDonald's.
At a WickDonald's, you mean?
And we're introduced to our quirky mini-boss squad. Minimalist, big dude, what crushes stuff. Apart, Super Garrote Man. Saw, Temu brand Jin League of Legends. And Dump, chocolate-flavored tomboy yandere.
I'm gonna be real honest, because Dump was wearing like a real, like her entire aesthetic is this baggy dress shirt. I completely glazed over the fact that's a cleavage line and was just like, oh, it's supposed to be like metrosexual dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I read that too. Like this character is aggressively androgynous.
Literally until they're in her fight, her opponent
they
refers
use
to her
pronouns.
as a woman. Yeah, it's like, oh, I legit read this as like lady, like androgynous lady killer was the deal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And in all honesty, to some degree, I think that's on purpose. She's supposed to be someone who would be appealing to anybody kind of thing.
Unfortunately, her name is Dump.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, her name is supposed to be that she dumps people, which is not...
That is not how I read it either.
Dump is not a verb you use completely without any context. Because dump is also a separate verb. I'm just realizing saying it out loud now.
Yep.
There are a lot of ways that you can read dump, and most of them aren't flattering.
She's dump. She's dump. She's dump.
My favorite part is how we're introduced to what Minimalist's whole thing is. When a part is complaining about the fact that he asked for no pickles, so he pulls his sandwich apart. Dump picks up the sandwich. Panel 1, pick up sandwich. Panel 2, closed fist. Panel 3, pill. And he just throws a whole like Big Mac compressed beyond the short's shield radius into his mouth. And it's like, what? This dude could squeeze coal and make diamonds. What the fuck?
My Big Mac. I
wanna
want to die. That's a mood.
I love how all the magic powers we get in this arc are never explained. I assume they're robots, I guess. Like,
why can Minimalists squeeze so hard that thing becomes pill? Why are a parts garage? Why? Okay, actually, having seen Hellsing, that one makes sense.
Why are you getting so upset?
It doesn't make sense, but like it's understandable from a manga perspective. And then Saw and Dump are just both like really strong.
No, the Dump does have a thing.
Yeah,
but we don't see it yet.
Oh yeah, she's got the Giga Drill Maximum.
Yeah.
So Sakamoto team goes to the video store to get more info on these escaped serial killers. We get to see each of them in action. We see Dump's power where she hugs a guy and then spikes explode out of him. We don't quite see the spikes explode out of her, but it's definitely heavily implied.
This is a trick I've seen before. This is super new or innovative, but a part is Walter from Hellsing, and garrots a guy into cold cuts, and I do like his speech bubble also getting sliced.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, and then a part's also got like a OCD kind of thing, where everything needs to be in neat, orderly rows, and like the example they give is he notices the person he just murder's manga collection is missing a volume 7, so he runs out to the store to go buy one.
To be fair, that is super frustrating, and I would probably do the same.
With how elaborate and well organized this collection is, I'm pretty sure that dude was just reading volume 7 somewhere else in the house, but that was not even a thought. It was go buy a new copy.
Well, you know what? Now he's got 2 volume 7s, and if he was already reading it, maybe it was his favorite, so he shouldn't be that mad about it. Besides, I think he has other problems to deal with right now.
Yeah, namely the fact that he has been subdivided and is just kind of split across the floor. Meanwhile, Saw's just in bed, had gotten done banging a bitch on his laptop, looking at pictures of bunnies and tracking the other serial killers as they're ripping through the target list.
Yeah, because they were given a target list of everyone the organization is like doesn't like, and they've been ranked on a grading scale.
It's like it's their assassin like power level ranking, and it's people in the JAA that or like opposed to Slur, I guess.
It's Slur's hit list is what it is.
So it's like, why would I waste my time going after lightweights when I can go after the big ticket numbers? I'm just gonna sleep with random women and watch the progress of the hit list on my laptop while smoking in bed because he's the coolest guy ever. Meanwhile, Minimalist has turned like 4 people into pills and is walking. You can see the face on one of them still. Like, holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
And as the serial killers are wreaking havoc, the JAA rolls out a hit squad to go deal with them because we can't have that shit on our turf. We've got some returning faces. We've got Nagumo. We've got Hyo, big guy. I don't think we've actually met him before, but I don't remember.
I think he was in the near the end of the previous arc, but
right. Along with Shishiba and Osaragi, aka every bisexual's wet dream.
Like on the group photo of them all in the party bus, you can just see the 2 Coca-Cola things, just like perfect Hollywood movie product placement.
Yeah, right. Okay, guys, the camera's gonna be there. Turn the cups a little bit. Perfect. And one sleepy old man with a sword. A fly buzzes by his face. Everybody ducks in a panic, and he takes off the roof of the party bus, a light post, and a highway sign. I call him Old Man Iaijutsu, but his name is Takamura.
And then we get the callback to the Sakamoto gang who went to their video rental store to go do some research on these escaped inmates. And Sakamoto falls asleep during it, so they learned nothing.
Well, yeah, he's the dad. Dads always fall asleep during movies.
I like how when they were collecting the videos, Lou was like, "Oh, probably gonna be scary. Can I close my eyes if I get scared?" And then she's just watching like, this is just a bunch of gore.
Sakamoto and Hisuke, Sniper Boy, are training up. Nagumo's like, hey, you know those serial killers are going crazy? Yeah, that's why I'm training up. Oh, maybe don't go fight them. Why not? They're gonna just run around killing people until I fight them. Yeah, well, I hate to break it to you, man, but since you stopped being a number 1 assassin, you kind of dropped on the tier list. You're B rank.
Sakamoto is so mad about that.
What do you mean I'm B rank? What do you mean you're S rank?
Yeah, by the way, I'm S rank.
Just makes him even angrier. I love it.
Moderately perturbed about the B rank, and then, by the way, I'm S rank. Glasses shatter.
And I know what you're thinking. Where is Shin and Lou? Well, they're at the combination PetSmart and Home Depot.
Because that's a thing that exists. I don't care. I like. There's a bunch of fuzzy animals, and I'm happy.
There's kitties and puppies.
If I were to sell animals anywhere, a home improvement store.
Not the worst spot.
No, it's actually an Agway. That makes perfect sense.
Shin says we have to focus on our mission of reinforcing the store with the serial killers around. We can't waste time on, and then he's covered in puppies. And I am very envious.
I don't even like dogs. Next panel. Oh, you're such a good boy.
Honestly, that's the only appropriate response to dog.
Every animal becomes immediately hostile as they sense the killing intent because Saw is here.
Wearing a old school hunting jacket and cap, British hunting jacket and cap.
Yeah, he looks like he's ready to go flush out some foxes.
Which kind of he is.
Actually, yeah. Because he pulls out an axe, goes and whacks Shin with it. Shin appears to be chopped in half in the action panel, but no, he actually had a crowbar, so he parried it. There's lots of that in this one. It's like action panel, person appears to be immediately dead from this alpha strike. No, they had a ridiculous thing to parry with.
They're in a home improvement store and you're fighting a telepath, so
this is the least ridiculous one.
Well, in all honesty, I don't even see that, because it's that's how I sort of I agree with that assessment, but I see that as a feature, not a bug. I like it for that. It's
cool as shit.
It's very much the situation of holy shit, how does he get out of that one? And then, here's the reveal of how he got out of that one.
Mm-hmm. Saw taunts them with their ranking. Lou is C rank, and Shin is D rank.
He's so angry.
You mean I'm lower ranked than Lou? She's just some drunk.
Yeah, but she gets things done.
The doggos come to comfort him.
They're good puppers.
We get a pretty cool action scene. Saw clearly outstats both of them, but they team up to take him out in interesting ways that play to both of their strengths. I also like how Saw, he's got just a woodsman's axe as his main weapon. And then he's like, all right, time to make this a bit more dynamic. And he pulls out a rope that he ties to the end of it. So it is now like a Kasurigama, but it's a woodsman's axe.
And then he starts doing insane feats of strength.
Yeah.
Power scalers for this series be damned. Holy crap.
Could he beat Goku? No, but
he's not far off is kind of the problem.
Yeah. He casually tosses the axe up, grabs the rope, and then pulls down, and it basically cleaves the ceiling in twain.
This is the weak introductory character to these antagonists.
Yeah, because he had the lowest kill total, and also if you looked at his crimes, everyone else had murder, torture, murder. He had murder, embezzlement, money laundering.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He kills to keep up his playboy lifestyle. The rest of them kill because they're monsters.
Yeah, I call him Discount Jin League of Legends because he thinks that the most interesting thing anybody can do is die, so he wants to make the most interesting death happen. And it's like, all right, so he's flashy with it, but also it's no good to just kill Sakamoto. I need to take away all his friends and family first, so that's why I'm coming after you brats.
Yeah, he's the author insert character of, man, Japanese manga really are the peak of literature. Also, you know what makes a really interesting character backstory? When they lose someone important to them.
I do love how much he absolutely adores manga. Manga is so good.
Also, I don't know how the durability for these people work. It's like he gets shot with a nail gun and he just kind of laughs about it, which, like, okay, that's standard, like Charles Atlas superpower durability. And then Shin burns him with a makeshift flamethrower, and he's like, "Lol."
He just walks through it.
Like, it's not okay. Whatever. We get the Chekhov's gun with him dumping some ethanol on his face to disinfect his wounds.
It's important to disinfect wounds right away. Anyway.
Sam, why is this a Chekhov's gun? Remember Lou being a drunk?
Yeah, remember how Lou does useful things?
Yeah, and we get a panel of Lou going like, "Oh, I've been hurt. I need something to drink."
Before we get that, we do have a cool moment for Shin where he pushes his clairvoyance one step further.
I can see the future.
Yeah,
I hate the explanation for this.
The explanation's really dumb, but
honestly,
on the one hand, it's so dumb I love it, but on the other hand, it's so dumb I hate it.
Honestly, him just being able to see the future probably would have been better than the actual explanation they give.
They try and like play both sides of it still being realistic, and they go like, well, you know, your brain makes a decision before you have the like internal narrator in your voice that I am going to punch someone. And what you can do is read that internal thought. And I'm like, yeah, I guess if his brain has no reaction time, that would work. But like...
The really funny thing about that was I was literally, as the background music while I was reading, I was literally listening to Rhythm Emotion at the time. So,
yeah, no, he's just got the zero system, but only one data point. And that's the guy he's currently kicking the shit out of. It's Temu, or it's Wish.com Ultra Instinct.
It really do be. And really cool, really dynamic fight. It seems like Shin's power runs out, so now Lou has to have her moment.
This is why I call it Discount Ultra Instinct, because it's the exact same thing that happened when Goku, by all rights, should have beaten Jiren.
Should have ended that arc where it happened, yeah.
I was going to say, Lou, we find out, drank the ethanol, and this drunk version of her is so drastically different in design, I did not recognize it as the same character and was very confused for a little bit.
I swear, I thought it was a different character. I'm like, whoa, who's this?
To be fair, that was Shin's reaction too. And for me, the reason I was able to figure out what, because of the sequential art, because you see Lou with her hairstyle in one panel, page turn, you see her taking out the hair tie that keeps her hair up, and then it shows like this version of her. So because I followed that, I was able to keep up with what was going on. But
my eyes were immediately drawn to wild hair down.
Oh yeah, no.
Like, ooh.
Yeah, no, like that is such a cool shot. And to be fair, Shin is also confused. He has no idea who he is either.
Yep. Also, I want to highlight the panel where Lou rejoins the fight, and she grabs Saw's face. That is such an incredibly detailed panel. Like, the mangaka did not need to go this hard, and I love it. Like, you can see his skin deforming around her fingers.
I might be giving the mangaka too much credit, but is that supposed to indicate her killing intent?
She's moving so fast that it's like warping his face. It's supposed to convey the speed of the impact.
Well, no. I'm saying killing intent is normally drawn in this with like hyper detailed panels.
Oh yeah.
True.
Yeah, you're probably
Trunk
right.
Lou does seem to not give a shit about human life.
She doesn't care about the family no killing rule.
Why are you two suddenly becoming so powerful? We're the younglings in the Shonen Protag family. Oh shit. Wait, no, I don't want to be a sacrificial villain for character growth. I gotta get out of here.
Saw very quickly says the quiet part out loud. A cruel death only is cruel when it's other people. I want to live.
Also, Sam, speaking of how strong are these people? This dude takes a garden trowel through his forearm and
barely reacts to it.
Seems relatively fine.
Mm-hmm. And Shin hits him with the. Actually, Shin and Lu have a sick ass double attack where Shin like whacks him with a full like metal ladder, and Lu hits him with the axe kick. His back is broken.
Well,
apparently not, because he walks it off.
Yeah, it should be broken. But
yeah, I'm really not a fan with how this fight ended because it.
On the one hand, I like it because dynamic like sibling like finishing move, but then like the way it actually wraps up,
because they knock him out and tie him up, but then because they both overexerted themselves, immediately fall asleep.
Yeah,
then this dude unties himself easily and doesn't just kill them while they're asleep.
He runs instead.
And then he runs and immediately gets killed. Like,
yeah, I feel like you could have. It's one of the JAA guys. I feel like you could have had the JAA guy just go into the store and kill him.
Yeah, like while he's tied up, that would have been basically the same thing. But like this entire thing is like, well, we can't have the heroes kill him. It's like, yeah.
This feels like they storyboarded the entire chapter, realized we need 2 more pages.
Yeah, it just strikes me as like, we need this guy to be dead because he's a terrible character and dealing with this isn't worth our time.
He's literally the sacrificial lamb.
He's not recruitable to the Sakamoto family, so he needs to be eliminated.
But the main characters can't do it for some reason.
For,
family no kill rule.
Family no kill rule.
Yeah, which is Sakamoto's thing. It's like, yeah.
So he's dead. We have a group of people show up calling themselves the Floaters, the incident cleanup troop from the Japanese Association of Assassins, which answers a question that had been floating in the back of my mind. How do people not know about the JAA when all this property damage is happening from these fucking Dragon Ball characters going at it?
I think denial is what is most of it, but the Floaters are to explain why the buildings aren't all gone.
Yeah, denial is 90% of it. The other 10% is the Floaters apparently being the most efficient cleanup and construction service in the entire universe.
Despite the fact that they're oh god, what's that delinquent
Bancho?
Yeah, Bancho. Yeah, they're Banchos. They're Banchos.
But we cut to a shrine where our other 2 JA members are having some pork cutlets.
Because the goth chick is superstitious.
Mm-hmm. Yep. She's like, we need to have a meal in a shrine before we go on the mission. Literally, why? Well, I mean, Shishiba, you wanted the pork cutlets. Literally, no, I didn't. You did.
You demanded we do this.
Anyway, have my leftovers. I'm going to go for a walk. I can't eat 1.5 pulls. This is onions in it.
Meanwhile, Goth Chick goes to the shrine to pray that she can have one of the serial killers to kill. And original reading this, Matt, is like, oh yeah, so she's the pretty girl, and we've got the lady killer who's gonna come up and attack. And then I realized later, on retrospect, no, they needed the girls to fight each other.
Yeah, we needed the cat fight. We needed Goth Gia versus Tomboy Yandere. Humana.
I do like how catty they are. Here in Japan, we pray by doing 2 bows, smash his head on ground, 2 claps,
slaps in the face, and then 1 more bow, drives head through the altar.
Yeah. And this is where we really get revealed. Dump's power is that she's got these drills in her body, I guess, just because it comes out of her gut at some point.
It comes directly out of the center of her palm.
And then there's like 1 out of her stomach, 1 out of her side, 2 out of her tits.
I don't know. It in some panels, they're just literally coming out of her from like weird angles.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't come out of consistent locations. You can just summon drills.
She's got the two in her palms, and then the others seem to just come from wherever.
I think she just chooses palm regularly because that's an official place to put them.
Yeah.
Does she hide them in her bones?
That's a question that was asked.
It's like,
Yep.
That's a question that was seriously asked.
You need the stuff that's inside your bones, by the way. That's really important.
Yeah.
You can't scoop that out and continue living. That's where your red blood cells come from, among other things.
But like, Matt, you are correct. It is very catty. I also like how catty it is, because Dump is like very, you ugly hoe, I'm gonna give you a makeover. How dare you judge me? And freaking Osaragi's just like, oh, sweetie, the entire time. In that tone of voice that is like super condescending.
Oh, you think I'm going to judge you? No, we're both trash. It's just sad that you don't know that.
Yeah. You know, if I was a god, I wouldn't make people like you and me. I guess the gods are kinder folk than we are. But that means I need to take out the trash.
I'm very grateful that I have a purpose.
Okay, I'm going to kick you in the face, and then you're going to have a flashback to reveal your entire backstory, which is weird, because I don't feel like we needed it. It's very one note.
It's literally a one-page backstory of she's a yandere.
It's weird because we're gonna flash back to your very unsympathetic backstory, and then another character who's supposed to have a sympathetic backstory will be functionally identical, and we're supposed to sympathize with him and not you, even though they basically have the same backstory.
The only thing I liked about this backstory was it confirms that her name is canonically Dump. That isn't her cool serial killer nickname.
Yeah, that's just her actual regular name.
That is the given name. That is what her parents gave her. And
all four of these people are using their Christian names. I love you, Dump.
Apart, my son.
The fact someone named that guy Minimalism or Minimalist sure is weird that they all have thematic powers to what their names are.
Yeah. Dump is all like, I just wanted to be loved. And then like manifesting as, and when I killed them, I was the only thing on their mind. That I had their full attention. And so Osaragi's like, I mean, you're giving me a purpose, so in that sense, I love you. Oh, shit, she cut me in half with a circular saw. I'm dead now. And that was the end of that fight. I really think the mangaka just wanted to draw two pretty ladies fighting in a Shinto shrine.
Yeah. I to a large degree, I feel like, and we're gonna get into this next fight in a minute, but I really do feel like Dump and Minimalist were kind of wasted here.
They clearly were like, we need to have 4 serial killers for some maybe it's just like that's what fills up a page, 4 serial killers. But then it was just like, but I want to show how cool my background characters in the JAA are. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's got heavy compromise with the editor energy.
Yeah, actually, I think you might have hit the nail on the head. I mean, not for nothing. See, here's the thing. Dump isn't honestly that interesting of a character, but it feels like we should care about her more than I can bring myself to.
They try and make the serial killers kind of sympathetic, and they fail at it. And I thought they were failing at it on purpose. But the further we went on, the less I think, because Saw's got a little bit of that too.
He has a little bit of it, but he has the least of it. I'm pretty sure Saw is exactly as intended, because I don't feel like we lose anything when he dies. But I felt like there was a point that was being built to with Dump and Minimalist that we never get to before they're unceremoniously killed.
Yeah,
I feel like this plot arc could have been longer. They all could have been, like, other than Saw, I feel like all of them could have been the sole antagonist of this arc.
Yeah. Minimalist would need some more backstory, but yeah. But yeah, like Dump, it's I don't know. It's just weird because like her power isn't thematic with anything. she's got like a serial killer motivation that's really one note and kind of just like generic.
They feel underbaked to a large degree. To be fair, the fights are awesome. I enjoyed the time in this reading that I spent with them. It's just from a writer's perspective, it feels incomplete.
So we go with Shin and Lu, who are being taken to Sakamoto's herbal doctor because Shin's power is too good. So it needs a weird back thing. It needs a weakness. So he can only use it for 5 minutes because otherwise he gets migraine headaches. Also, Lu's power has a downside. She gets a hangover.
You have a buildup of too many toxins in your body. Here, drink this soup. That's
like,
just a hangover.
This right here was the scene of me going like, oh, this is really firmly on that Shonen Jump gag manga to battle shonen. Because it's just like, hey, this character's really broken and makes for funny fights. Here's a weird limitation that we're just deciding. He gets tired if he uses that.
Yeah.
The classic, like, we need an excuse for why he just doesn't always do this.
Yeah, why isn't he, like, insta-winning everything?
Because we need fights with stakes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the key is when that thing I mentioned before about like certain characters have plot armor, so suspension of disbelief. There's got to be some like reason like to be interested in the events proceeding, and usually that the way that works, the way that you do that is how is the like I know the character is going to get out of it, but how? And the series
will cost them in the process.
Yeah, and the series that can balance that are the ones that, despite having low like death rates, can still be engaging. And like Sakamoto Days does a good job of that. But this is one of those cases where it's like the power is so simple, we kind of just have to like give shit an aneurysm so he doesn't just do it automatically.
And speaking of which, you also might be like, hell man, if we're nerfing all the characters, how do you nerf Sakamoto? He can just at any point lose calories to become the world's greatest assassin again.
Well, you see, in terms of like character growth, that's not actual growth. That's just regressing back to what he was before. So in order to, and honestly, I kind of like this. I like this a lot. Not even kind of. I like this.
This is so goofy and yet actually works as a serious plot point at the same time.
Because Granny, she goes and does some acupuncture. She does some pressure points on Sakamoto, and it's like, yeah, you're at about 30% of the physical power you once had because you're so goddamn fat now. Well, it doesn't matter. I need to go out and take out those maniacs. All right, well, let me just give you one more on the house. Boom! Elbows him, like, right in the solar plexus. What was that for? I went and hit a special pressure point. You should be able to move better now. Okay, I'm gonna go out and fight some guys. Good luck.
Yep. And then we get a flat. We come back to Granny later, but I just like it right here. I imagine Granny just immediately went like, well, back to my body positivity articles I've been reading lately.
Oh, and like said as a joke, but it doesn't really go in that direction. But I kind of like it for that because it has that sort of unintended.
It's 100% Granny's side of it at the very least. Like,
yeah,
it feels like the manga was like, all right, we've worn out the joke of haha, legendary assassin is fat now, and we can't just put him in skinny mode every time. That's just discount Super Saiyan. It's boring. What do we do about this? I know. We take the original premise and we put a little spin on it.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's why it works so well.
Yeah,
but in the between though, we find out that a part has figured out that they are just being used and kills the person who gave them the list.
Yeah, Deer Man.
It's a deer mask guy from last time who is made of swords.
Yeah, the Hotline Miami character. Except like we established last time, segmenting does not work on this guy because he's a cyborg. And he's like, well, this is embarrassing. I'm still on speakerphone with the boss, and I'm just ahead now. Hey, boss, should we, like, deal with this? Nah, let them have fun. More chaos they cause, the better.
Anyway, Minimalist is gonna go kill Kobeni.
Oh.
Mrs. Sakamoto looks so much like Kobeni. I know we had our headcanon last time.
Look, I'm just glad that Kobeni really found a nice normal life.
Yep.
No, you do not get to combine that awful with this wonderful. You stop it.
Look, people can get better, Jacob. I think that's the entire moral of this manga.
Okay, I'll take that one.
But Minimalist appears to be going to attack the Sakamoto store. I really like this.
This whole sequence. It's one of those ones where it's like, okay, either Mrs. Sakamoto is gonna prove to be a badass, which would be weird. I would be okay with it under certain circumstances if they justify it, or there's gonna be some twist, and then she breaks the guy's arm and pulls out a knife. Oh, it's the guy who keeps trying to stab Sakamoto. Yeah, it's Nagumo.
Yeah. I just really like this because it's like, where's Taro Sakamoto? My husband is out. I don't like being lied to. I don't like being lied to either. Allow me to demonstrate the direness of your situation. Cash register, crunch, ball. What about the money?
My headcanon for this scene is that Minimalist has like really good intuition and can tell when people are lying to him. But he didn't know that
he doesn't know what the lie was about.
Was lying about Sakamoto being his husband.
Yep.
He's got
a good lie detector, but absolute for threat analysis. However, so, breaks arm, stabs him in the neck. Unfortunately, Nagumo was using his toy knife. And then, it's just Nagumo clowning on this guy.
Yeah, which Nagumo is so much better at fighting him than like he is, and he just spends so long like pussyfooting around the battle and manages to destroy the entire store, which is the thing he promised Sakamoto he would like watch after. Like
he is also an asshole is the other factor to remember.
That's fine. The floaters will come by and fix it.
Yeah, we've established that exists now.
Which there was no point to send Shin and Lu out to get barricade supplies then. Like
send the kids to go do a task.
We needed somebody to man the cash register. What if a customer came in? I also love just the demonstration of how flippin' oblivious the civilians are, because like there's crashing and smashing and bashing.
Sure is rowdy in there.
There is a glass door. You can look inside and see what's happening. Yep, that's an anime battle at Sakamoto's again. I'll just stop by from a gas station sandwich later.
We get a real fun thing with Hisuke. And he
I like that he is surprisingly competent in this. Like he's still a joke. He's the weakest member of the team, but he's legitimately helping.
Like it's kind of insane. He's got a sniper perch through a glass like floor on an observation deck. He punches his gun through the glass door and then fires a bullet to ricochet off of the glass shards in the air. And I'm like, no, those glass shards weigh like nothing. That's not what
that would not deflect the angle of the bullet.
Oh, but it's like a cool ricochet to make
it's such a cool panel, man.
And it's so that he hits apart from the chest, from like a horizontal level on the chest rather than straight down. And then because he can't have anything, he immediately gets his gun like garroted. And
he's wrapped up in the garrotes and he's like, man, good thing I distracted you just long enough for Sakamoto to show up. What? Boom! As Sakamoto menacingly comes out of the elevator. I know that like it kind of seems like Hisuke was jobbing, but I'll give him the win for teamwork.
Well, no, I like that. That's what I like about it, because he is 100% jobbing, but he's a way that doesn't make him seem worthless. He's showing how like he was legitimately useful here. He saved
Take notes, Vegeta.
a civilian.
I mean, he kind of did the same thing.
Oh, I hate that you're right.
Is your note Vegeta should have a gun? Because I think he'd be game for that. Like
my note is that Vegeta should job in ways that help the good guys instead of the bad guys.
Instead of the bad guys.
I don't think he has control over that.
Well,
no, he absolutely does.
He could have not let Cell absorb 18, for example.
But that doesn't prove you're a better fighter.
Yeah, look, Vegeta gets a gun in Fortnite. It's fine.
There we go. But yeah, Sakamoto makes his way up the elevator, and he is about to fight a part. But I think that's about halfway through our reading, ain't it?
I believe it is, yes.
So let's go buy some Tokyo Tower souvenirs and make our way back.
All right, we'll be right back. And welcome back to the show, folks, where last we left our competitors in this knockdown, drag-out marathon battle. This is actually just a whole bunch of separate fights, right? It's not a tournament.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get one eventually. An assassin tournament.
Oh God, you're right.
This was already so close to being a tournament.
It's so close to a No, it's totally going to be Slur doing some like Professor Gadget tier like Saturday morning cartoon shenanigans to say like, in order to truly decide who is worthy to lead the future of the assassin world, we will have a tournament.
Meanwhile, in the background, it has to be the editor at Shonen Jump going like, nah, we're done with you having a gag manga. You'll never be as good as me and Roboco. So you're a Shonen battle manga now. Have a serious tournament arc.
I'm going to bring back those guys that tried to do a terrorism with the bus.
No.
Yeah, we've got Nagumo and Minimalist continuing their brawl. Nagumo is kind of just, twinkle toes dancing around him. Ostensibly, this is so that he can pilfer everything off of Minimalist with, his like 5 dots in larceny, and be like, all right, you got X in your contacts? Nope. You don't really have many contacts, dude. You don't have friends. That's sad. I'm going to crush you. No, you're not.
Yeah, this entire fight exists with the express purpose of, because it's like they did a fairly decent job of building up Minimalist as the one who's supposed to be the final boss of this arc.
He's the one with the most kills.
He exists to illustrate how powerful Nagumo is. All of that build up for Minimalist exists to
oh god, he gets dwarfed.
Like this entire thing is to sell Nagumo figurines. That is why this fight exists. Like, ooh, isn't Nagumo like really strong, but also kind of like hot because he's really like laissez-faire about it?
And here you can get this one of him in his like assassin outfit with his weird like guitar case with his stupid fucking weapon in it.
His sword multi-tool, where he's just like, I have 6 blades on this. Okay.
Which one will be used to kill you? Roll the die. I'm not going to roll your stupid die. Too bad. I've already magic tricked it into your mouth. Ooh, 3. Too bad. You get the can opener decapitation. I'm sorry, what?
And now that character is no longer a character in this manga. I am so glad for the time that we spent on him.
He's super dead.
You know how I complimented the Isuke did and was like, he's 100% jobbing, but he's jobbing in a way that doesn't make him seem like a loser or a waste of time and space. This is bad jobbing.
Yeah.
To be fair, it's a unpleasant villain character who's being jobbed, so I don't care that much, but this is how you do it wrong.
he's not even jobbing for a main character is my thing. Like, it's like...
He's jobbing for a future villain.
Or Nagumo?
Oh yeah, they're gonna have to fight Nagumo at some point.
I don't get villain vibes from Nagumo. I get like, oh, sorry, got to do that. Well, actually, it seems like the JAA, it might not be villains anymore. I don't know.
Well, no, the JAA aren't villains, but Nagumo and Sakamoto's relation building, they're going to come to they're going to come to serious blows at some point. But I that's going to be way off in the future. This has like how many 100 chapters at this point, and spoilers for the end of our reading, but we're going to be meeting Slur. Yeah, nearly 200 chapters. At some point, we're going to be fighting Nagumo. Nagumo is going to go off the reservation for his rivalry with Sakamoto at some point.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, Sakamoto is back in his fight with Apart, and he's desperately trying to lose weight, but he can't.
Yeah, he can't slim down for some reason.
He is moving a lot better in his heavy form.
Yeah, he's like, I can't slim down, but also my body feels light. What's going on here?
And this is where we get the cutaway to Granny I mentioned in the last bit, where she's just like, nah, I said he was only as strong, but he can always go back to his slim body, and that's just as strong as he was in his prime. But he doesn't understand. People like that, they're always trying to live in their glory days. They don't know that they're equally as hot and sexy in their tubby dad bods. God damn. And Lou and Shin are listening to her talk like this and are like, what is wrong with you, lady?
Fat guys have a way of their own that lets them move, and I'm helping him awaken that. Totally not because I'm into dad bods or nothing.
Granny, why'd you light a cigarette while talking about this?
Just because there's snow on the roof doesn't mean there's not fire in the furnace, kids.
What?
Granny, he's married. Granny, he's distinctly happily married. That's the main part of his character.
But yeah, Sakamoto is stopping to try to slim down because he's like, oh, omoshiroi.
But he's being like literally karate kidded into learning the ways of the dad bod.
Yes.
Like,
listen, Sakamoto, we all have to get old and fat eventually.
You're just going to be a stronger shonen protagonist because of it.
Yes.
My favorite bit is like we get cool Fido in the Tokyo Tower nonsense. But at one point, there is a whole scene where he is holding on to a rope and he just thinks to himself, when I've not slimmed down for summer bod weight, I actually have a lot of power in these meaty hands. And I'm like, yeah, that's why like combat sports have weight classes, but it's not like a shonen fight has ever cared about what is physically possible. Like,
congratulations, you understand why actual powerlifters are all pot-bellied and how they can always out-muscle bodybuilders.
It's like, yeah, you're stronger because you weigh like 70 pounds more than when you're not in your like dad bod.
Low center of gravity turns out real good for when you're trying to... Okay, I know I do this every time. It's like guy who's only seen Boss Baby watches any other movie. Man, I'm getting real Boss Baby vibes. Guy who's only played Exalted sees any sort of cool fight. Man, I'm getting real Exalted vibes. But this next bit, holy shit.
Exalted is the Boss Baby of TTRPGs.
I hate you forever. I brought this upon myself, but yeah, Apart uses, well, we get his backstories to start with.
Yeah, do we want to
talk about that? We have to talk about the backstory, don't we?
We spend like literally a middle chunk of this chapter in backstory Black Borderland, and man, does the manga want you to think this is a sympathetic backstory.
It's woobying it's unsympathetic person is what it is.
And then it makes the dad out to be a terrible person when he's not, until he does a heel turn at the end for no reason. It's essentially kid doesn't know how to people. His mom doesn't want to deal with the family life, and the dad works all the time but really loves his son.
Mhm. I had no friends. My mom didn't care about me, and dad cared about me, but he was always at work. So dad gave me a toy, and I'm like, cool, I'll be friends with this toy. Maybe this will give me confidence to go try to play with the other kids my age. Hey guys, can I play too? Oh, you're that weirdo who's always moping at the edge of the playground doing the whole Naruto swing thing. Get out of here.
Yeah, and like his reaction to, mind you, not being bullied. He just asked if he could play, and the people were kind of rude but about saying no. And his response was to mope in his room and tear apart the doll with scissors.
And dismember the toy his father had given him, which escalates to dismembering an animal.
Yeah. And then his dad's response to that is to embrace his son and go, we're going to figure out what's wrong, because this is not, there is something that would cause this that is atypical. We're going to get to the bottom of this. This is fine. I still love you. I want that to be very clear, but we're going to the doctor, get your head checked out, because that would be my first assumption, is like base signs of psychopathy.
Quick, Mr. Neuroscientist, is anything wrong with my son? No, his brain appears to be perfectly normally functioning from a neuroscience standpoint. All the synapses are firing, all the hemispheres are cooking.
There's no tumors.
There's no tumors. You probably need a psychiatrist for this, if I'm being
No,
real.
no. The doctor does not mention a psychiatrist is the thing. Like, apparently no one in this world knows psychiatrist exists. They're like, well, if there's not a tumor in his head, I guess he's the spawn of Satan.
You're telling me that my son dismembered an animal when there's nothing physically wrong with his brain? You're telling me my son is a monster? Oh God, I instantly believe you. Stay away from me, devil child. I hate you now, father. I will cut your throat with these safety scissors.
And then use the safety scissors to cut open your brain to see that they look the same as my thing. And I'm like, sure, bud.
And the doctor's just like, I was about to say I could recommend you a therapist, man. Oh God, I'm witness to a crime. Oh, come out of here.
When you wooby somebody who's just kind of like, because
this guy doesn't have any goodwill built up by this flashback, and that's on top of having to remember that a part was the one who went off the list to kill other people just for fun. We don't see that happen, but that is dialogue he says. From him. He admits to it.
Yeah. We were told that by two separate characters, one of them being he himself. So, like, it's woobying, but it's not sympathetic.
You know that thing Demon Slayer does?
Yeah, but Demon Slayer at least ends with the pathos of they can only be redeemed through death. This guy gets to have breakfast with them at the end of the arc.
Yeah, no, honestly, that's sort of the thing. With Demon Slayer, a lot of times it's sympathy for,
It's literally sympathy for the devil.
Yeah, it's literally sympathy for the devil. It doesn't, like, forgive, because, like, honestly, what this flashback feels like is it's supposed to make you be like, oh, he's just a wounded puppy all along. He's not a wounded puppy. He's not.
He's not.
No, he doesn't know how to handle rejection and thinks he's entitled to people. Like,
Yeah, and like you can make a character like this like become sympathetic. You can evolve a character like this into a sympathetic character, but I'm not going to feel sympathy for him just from this flashback. And now everything else he's done is okay. And that's what it feels like it's trying to do.
Also, you want to know what I just noticed? Literally, I only noticed it on like paging through the manga while we're recording. The panel where he's chopped up his dad and has cut open his brains. Look at the brain scans in the background. They've got X's on them now.
Oh my God.
Oh, I didn't notice that. Oh my God. Those are different brain scans. How the hell did that happen?
That doesn't make any sense. Because they're normal brain scans the page before.
I think it's supposed to be a thing of like, this is how X, aka Slur, got in his head and like turned him into a minion. But also they kind of look like chromosomes. So it's like...
So you're saying he's a girl.
Is it supposed to imply that like his parents were sociopath? I don't fucking understand. I feel like the manga's trying to...
The manga is trying to do too much too quickly, and it does not work.
Yep.
I'm not a big fan of Apart as a character. His fights are great.
Yeah, and like Sakamoto's whole thing is, I'm not my A game, but I'm not going to kill you because you're trying to make connections with people, and killing people doesn't build connections, it severs connections. So stop hurting people. No, I want to hurt people.
I'm gonna literally beat some sense into you. And then we see that I have to comment on this because this pisses me off. We see that the reason why I do find it a little bit annoying that they never make it clear why Apart went after the Deer Mask cyborg guy.
Yeah.
Because this is supposed to be the explanation for it, but it took me a while to connect these dots. The other assassins are on the list of people to assassinate, and it's like, Dump is A minus, Saw is B plus, Minimalist is A plus. It's like, okay, obviously, and like honestly, by this point, it's pretty obvious that Apart was going to be the real big threat. So like I knew that without the like list of their rankings. It's like, okay, so Apart must be S tier. A plus plus. What the fuck? Fuck yourself, manga. I do not need this crap.
Go to hell for that one.
The go fuck yourself manga for me was the fact that this is on the last page of the kill list that was just given to all the assassins.
And like
that's like getting literally 1 point below a P rank in Ultra Kill.
But like the fact that these are on the list, it means that they gave themselves as a target.
Yeah, that's the thing, and the rest of them don't give any indication they knew they were targets. So that implies Apart was the only one who read all the pages.
Who read the whole list? Yeah. And it's a list with pictures. You don't have to read the whole list, you just have to skim it.
You can also see the list. It's only like 7 pages long. Like it's like, hey, we need a reason for this. Here you go. Like
I feel like Apart being like, I know you're using me after Slur's minion was decided first, and it's like, okay, we need a way to justify why he did that. Okay, here you go.
They were on the list.
But it's okay that Apart is weak as a character because he facilitates one of the coolest fucking things I've ever seen.
Is it when Grandpa Plot Device shows up to end another
Grandpa
fight?
Plot Device shows up and uses single point shining into the void style.
God damn it.
This is the fucking exalt moment. Because okay, Apart uses his garrote wires to slice up part of Tokyo Tower, which sends the top of it tumbling over. Sakamoto's like, oh crap, I can't let that happen. Everybody would die. So he grabs onto the electrical cords and is like, okay, I can hold this ton steel girder structure in place by raw physical strength. Good thing I'm in fat mode to give me a lower center of gravity. Oh no, I can't move. I'm going to get garroted. Wait a minute. What is this? What is this bloodlust I'm sensing? Cut to the bottom of the tower where old man Iaijutsu Takamura draws his sword, slashes, and cuts like a solid 3 feet of girder and concrete off one of the fucking supports of the tower at the base so that it falls, reestablishing equilibrium so the top doesn't fall. Holy shit! That's a 3-dot stunt if I've ever seen one!
Sam, we've talked about this. You get 1 exalted reference per episode.
No!
No, we definitely have talked about this. We talked you down for more. This entire time, Sakamoto is wrapped up in garrote wires, and I kept expecting them to say, good thing this garrote can't cut through my squishy fat body. But that does not happen.
Instead, he's just like, well, good thing I'm in fat mode, and then sucks in his guts so he can Dragon Ball Flash step out of the garrotes.
Yeah, he sucks in his neck fat and his jaw. Like
Sakamoto's body shape has always been little more than a punchline, so
No, see, that's why he's stronger in his fat form, because he's no longer counted as a humanoid. He's an ooze.
Oh, but yeah, we get the
Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, his skull would have to get skinnier.
yes, exactly.
Because there's one around the top of his head.
Yep. But unfortunately, a part's falling to his death, and he's crying that it's not fair, that he's a human being like everyone else. So why's his life got to be so painful? And Sakamoto's just like, well, I do believe that every life is precious now that I'm not an assassin. I guess I'm gonna save you. I won't let go of this rope. He's just like, oh, really? And then Sakamoto whips this dude around. He's like, I said I was saving you, not that I'd make this not like painless.
Yeah, it's obvious what is going to be. He's going to use the rope to finish the fight, but he won't let go of the rope. Yeah, honestly,
he spins it like a sling, like he's David about to take down Goliath.
But then he slams it inside of Tokyo Tower, so a part will be hurt, but not permanently damaged. Yeah, honestly, if a part was a better written character, that would be a pretty crowning moment of badass, even if it is super predictable.
And the implication here, I think, is supposed to be that a part, his ropes have been cut, and he's going to fall to his death if fall damage did anything in this series.
Yeah.
Because in all fairness, the centrifugal force of getting slammed into the tower at this point is so much worse than terminal
the centrifugal
velocity.
force should have liquefied his brain and made all of his blood erupt out of his feet.
He's smashing through solid steel girders.
But better not fall from 100 feet in the air.
Yeah. Now, like, Jake, you're the airplane nerd. I'm sure you know what the G-forces would do. This guy's heart and lungs have not had blood for a solid, 45 seconds.
Well, you missed that part in the backstory where the doctor, before he killed the dad, had cut off the parts of his legs below his knees and replaced them with robot legs.
Isn't that literally the explanation for an Ace Combat character?
That's also the explanation for Star
Fox. Yeah, that's Star Fox, not Ace Combat. No. In Ace Combat, they scoop your brain out and put it in a robot plane.
Because our anthropomorphic animals couldn't fly a jet at light speed, so we got rid of their legs.
Project Wingman is more likely for that to happen outside Star
Project
Fox.
Wingman would do that. If Project Wingman gets a sequel, they'll probably end up doing that.
Anyway, they bring a part's unconscious body to breakfast.
Yep.
Oh.
They take him to breakfast, and it it looks like the standard Sakamoto Days thing of, all right, we beat this bad guy. Now he's going to join our family. And to be fair, we haven't technically seen the end of this. It could be that that's not what happens. But it sure looks like it when he wakes up at the tatami with everybody having breakfast, and, Lou and Shin are being bratty siblings, and Hisuke is like, hey, Granny, you want more tea? And like just standard domestic bliss moment with the Sakamoto family. I've never experienced true human connection before, like sharing a meal. I've literally never eaten with anybody before in my entire life. Don't think about the fact that I went to McDonald's with my coworkers.
Well, yeah, there's the I'm fixed now. Again, honestly, if a part...
Okay, so I will say...
The problem with this scene is a part...
Yeah. I was about to say he doesn't actually say that, but then later on, he completely flips teams to Team
It's the vibe of the scene. It's the vibe of the scene is I'm fixed now. And quite frankly, if a part was as sympathetic as the manga wants him to be, I think that this would work. It's just... his flashback was terrible.
Yeah.
If you scooped that flashback out of the manga and gave a completely different backstory, I would not have a problem. Honestly, I would think cool, but yeah, the important thing is he needs to give exposition because he overheard the rest of the call between Dismemberment Cyborg guy and Slur.
Oh yeah, because his garrots are also listening wires.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, sure.
I know it's filthy rich coming from me. Power's a bullshit.
But yeah. Anyway,
X was like, let them wreak more havoc. After all, that'll make it so much easier when we attack the JAA central base in Tokyo.
And I know what you're thinking. Man, This seems like this was inspired by John Wick so far. Well, don't worry. The JAA is literally just the high table, and the Tokyo Bureau is literally the exact same building as the Continental. And this is just John Wick.
It's so blatant. Like, Matt posted the panel and then the screenshot from John Wick, and God, they're fucking identical.
They are both weird triangular buildings in a cityscape,
I'm pretty sure
with the like rounded front.
I'm pretty sure the Continental is based off a building in Chicago. It's some building in a major U.S. metropolitan area where like the shape of the building is a result of the streets being wonky. Mm-hmm. That doesn't make sense in Tokyo.
Because Tokyo, notoriously completely redesigned after, for some reason, a bunch of fires were started.
I wonder how that happened. Anyway,
I don't know how. I blame bats.
Yeah, so like Tokyo has got a perfect grid. They wouldn't have a need for a building like that. What the hell ever?
I don't know. We saw those city streets in Cat's Eye.
Yeah, true. True.
Sakamoto Days is in the Cat's Eye universe.
Please no.
I'd believe it.
We don't need the police. Actually, that's why the police are never involved. They're all run by Chief of Interpol, the stupidest man in Japan.
But yeah, we get a couple of quick snapshots of life inside the JAA headquarters. We've got the Garuden dojo, where it's sparring. They've just got kill written in big letters on the wall.
We've got an entire call center of people going like, "Hello, how can I address your call? Oh, would you like an assassination or do you need a body cleaned up? Also, remember, with every third assassination, you do qualify for our frequent killers bonus."
It's literally a call center. Like, okay.
For the Assassin's Guild. Yeah, no. You're wondering why nobody's thinking about therapy. This is their form of conflict resolution. What therapy?
I do tech support. I work a call center. This is...
So this is accurate, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it is.
the deeply underpinned levels of bloodlust of all the people involved.
But Slur and a Bleach wannabe roll up.
Let's introduce the boss character for this level, because we're not taking Slur down yet.
Also, you say a Bleach wannabe. That is a Jujutsu Kaisen character.
Oh shit, you're right.
Yes,
yes.
That's a Jujutsu Kaisen character.
You're correct. Jujutsu Kaisen characters are Bleach wannabes.
And Slur just looks like Johan from Monster.
He do.
He actually does.
He's got the turtleneck sweater. He's got the jacket. He's got the messy yet still fashionable hairstyle.
Blonde hair, yeah.
But we see that this thug that he's got with him, Gaku. One letter off Goku. His power is apparently slapping people so hard that their torsos invert. He
also has a meat tenderizer, which apparently has a cannon in it. This is just a ruby weapon.
I was gonna say, yeah, this is a Jujutsu Kaisen character with a ruby weapon. Jake, did you write this arc?
No, I don't like Jujutsu Kaisen.
True. But yeah, Slur and Gaku go and bust into the JAA, casually murdering everybody in their path. I love how it cuts to the call center with the announcement going, "Intruder, alert, combats, arm yourselves. Non-combatants, go to your floor shelter." And one of the guys at the call center is just like, "All right, we better get to the shelter." Nah, it's just two guys. They're not gonna make it past floor 3. We're totally safe up here. As Gaku walks up soaked in blood, and with one swing of his meat tenderizer, gibbs the entire floor.
It's literally the guy going, "Oh, page turn, splash page of entire room is a blend."
Awesome. Cool, where's the men's room? I gotta piss.
There's a men's room on every single floor.
On every other floor.
Oh. Not Johan was very clear about that, though.
Bathrooms on every other floor. Because every one of these assassins needs a weird OCD gimmick. And apparently Gaku's is he fights so hard it puts his kidneys in overdrive.
I just like the chief of security who gets there with his like squad of men and just like, knew I should have stayed home today. And then just gets kicked through 3 walls.
Who's the guy that trained up Denji in Power and Chainsaw Man?
Yeah, it's kind of like
Kishimoto?
Yeah, he's a little bit like Kishimoto.
He's like Kishimoto, but with more obvious scars. Well, a whole bunch of younglings are dead. Knew I should have stayed home. Gonna take another swig from my flask and...
Well, no, he's not being kicked through a wall.
Gaku is.
Gaku is getting kicked through a wall by another
By a
quirky mini boss.
cyberpunk character.
yeah, cyberpunk character. You're not wrong.
Bro's got a power fist like he's in Fallout.
What are you talking about? That's a Nintendo Power Glove.
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, Gaku's just going on a tear. Cool shonen battles are happening.
Slur is activating his sleeper agents.
Yep. Slur steps out of an elevator, confronted by 4 guys, and then one of the guys pulls out a gun and shoots the other 3 in the head. Hey, boss, how's it going? It's all right, Uda. How you doing? I'm doing all right. Oh, hey, did you lose weight? You look slim. You don't need to butter me up. I know I've had you on this stint for a while. I don't know. This place has got pretty good pay and benefits. It's kind of cushy.
Oh, yeah? You make any friends?
Yeah, but they were on the first 3 floors, so they're dead by now.
Oh, my bad.
It's fine.
We're activating the plan. It's okay. Order 66 and all that.
Now we're going to reset the corrupt JAA, and I'll create a
I
new
will
world
create a new
order.
world order. Okay, buddy, calm down.
Yeah, I'm not going to ask what that means. I'm just siding with you.
But plot convenience grandpa has to show up to, be convenient for the plot.
There's 2 goobers guarding the door saying, hey, this building's under the rule of Slur. Elon Musk bought us out. If you don't want to die, then scram. And then plot convenience grandpa swords them to death. I love how he's treated as basically a slasher villain.
Yeah.
Plot convenience grandpa just kills the dude we've been following this entire time.
Yeah, we get a fight between plot convenience grandpa and Gaku. And
Gaku's being really generous there.
Yeah, because Gaku's losing body parts left and right and can't touch this freaking nonagenarian.
2 fingers, an ear.
His weapon.
At this point, the main character has to show up.
As Sakamoto, Shin, and Apart swing in to crash through the skyscraper. I love how cool and collected everybody is, just like casually walking in and murdering people that block their way. Like, yeah, we're John Wick characters. We're too cool for school. We're super fashionable. And then George of the Jungle. Woo!
It is kind of interesting that Sakamoto normally is not like that, but he kind of is in this section. And he comes off worse for it in the sense that, like, he loses pretty badly. Mm-hmm. I'd like to hope they're going to do something with that, because that would be interesting.
But yeah, they crash land right so we can have the dramatic standoff between Sakamoto and Slur, and he's just like, yes, Suzuki, I know your former name. Hey, you got real fat, old man. But
also, I go by Slur now.
Excuse me, I say slurs now? This guy says slurs?
What? It's so funny. Just like, I go by Slur now.
What slur do you go by? I'm confused.
It's just grammatically, like...
Well, you see, it's actually an X. He goes by X.
That's why it's in quotation marks, so the manga could fill it in later. I need a slur here.
Oh.
The editor was supposed to fill in the most appropriate slur, but didn't understand the prompt.
I hate it. But
hey, audience, put in the comment section what you think. No, don't do that.
No, wait. Okay, and I know I said earlier that Minimalist got warfed. No, Sakamoto's the one who gets warfed.
A little bit, yeah.
Because Sakamoto has always been like, he's the Goku. He's the guy that shows up and is so powerful he wins all the fights. So he shows up and Slur immediately stabs him and Sakamoto actually bleeds.
I think that's the first time he's actually gotten properly hurt, too.
Cool. Shin gets taken hostage by the sleeper agent. We've got some tension here. Oh, right. A part needs to be here to make it bad. Don't cut my connections. And Slur immediately severs his arm. Like, that's the thing where it's like, okay, I was going to say earlier that Slur never said, I'm fixed now. But then I remembered that this panel existed.
Yeah, because the trope and the way that this kind of story works, because, Sakamoto Days does not exist in a vacuum. Shonen Jump has a formula.
Mm-hmm.
A part is fixed now, basically. Like, that's the thing. He went through the same journey that, that Shin went through, that Liu went through. The problem is he is not as compelling a character as the others. He's not as sympathetic.
All he is missing is a conversation with Sakamoto's wife where she tells him that he's allowed to be a good person and makes him a meal.
Yeah.
Which, that is literally the only thing he needs to be like, oh, well, I got a haircut and now I got a friendly face.
Yeah, and in all honesty,
his eyes are beautiful.
Yeah, and in all honesty, I think that's probably what's going to happen after the end of our reading, But
yeah, Sakamoto and X spar a little bit. And X is like, so annoying. You've lost your killing intent, Taro.
Don't you want to kill me again?
Yes, I'm going to imply our backstory. You must epitomize invisible killing spirit as they teach us in the JCC. Yes. Well, since you've become so boring, I think I'll visit your daughter next.
Killing intent.
Oh, yes, this is the killing intent that I wanted. Face me, Taro Sakamoto. We will finally decide who is the most powerful. Oh, hey, Gaku, what's up? This old guy with a sword is so strong.
I didn't die.
Plot convenience grandpa shows up.
Literally to prevent the main character in the BBEG from fighting too early.
We also find out that Plot Convenience's grandpa's sword is like magic because it just slices through like butter, like everything.
I love the last page of this chapter.
He's opening the door by stabbing the handle with his sword.
So funny. He stabs the door and draws the sword down at an angle to pull the latch on the handle.
It's so stupid.
It's so dumb. But he's drawn in such a serious way that it's so funny.
In all honesty, this is why Shonen Jump has its pipeline of gag series to serious series. Yeah. Because stuff like this, it works because it started off funny.
No, it's honestly so that you can just ignore all criticism for the first couple of like tournament arcs, and then you're like, well, it's a gag series, so it doesn't have to be serious. But that was dumb. They dressed up like dinosaurs. Yeah, it was a joke. This fight was not a joke, though, if you liked it.
Because Plot Convenience Grandpa cuts off Sleeper Agent's trigger finger and stabs him in the throat, not just the tongue.
He does cut off Gaku's arm.
And Gaku's like, I didn't need this shit anyway, and Soccer kicks it into him like he's a Blue Lock character.
Well, Gaku's other arm.
Yeah.
He now has no arms.
So Plot Convenience Grandpa severs the entire floor vertically.
The building is split in half. This is a thing he can do.
Plot Convenience Grandpa, because he's proven to be too powerful, is about to kill Slur. So Slur's like, hey, Sleeper Agent, I know I was just talking about how much I wanted to like give you a weekend off, but could you activate the suicide bomb for me? Yep, gotcha. Boom.
Which is really ironic, because normally old people are on the side of slurs.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Somehow nobody dies in the suicide bomb except the suicide bomber.
Well, because all of the other characters are plot relevant.
Including the 3 people within like 10 centimeters of him.
Including Gaku, who has no arms.
Yep. So Gaku and X escape.
No. He has one arm. He's just missing 2 fingers.
He only got attacked in the hand, and okay.
Yeah. Because he has to like pull Slur away with what's left of his hand. They conveniently put that hand on the other side of Slur's head.
I'm just saying, Gaku better come back with a robot arm.
He really better.
I'm pretty sure Apart's gonna come back with a robot arm.
Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot Apart doesn't have a hand. That's right.
Yeah, because the Don't Sever My Connections that is responded to with Slur having
cutting
cut
off his arm with
off.
a butter knife or
And
something.
Look, I'm not going to read too deep into this. I just want to know. I don't know why his right hand is his most powerful connection.
So thus brings us to the end of our reading.
No, I think we need to examine this. This is, I feel, a very important story element.
Favorite character and favorite fight.
Well, Sam,
everybody.
I do like our last page where we are described that Slur was successful in killing 75% of assassins in Tokyo.
Yeah, because the JAA professional assassin roster has been reduced to a quarter. Not by a quarter, to a quarter.
Which, to be fair, the serial killers were doing a lot of assassinations, so...
I really hope that...
Oh, that's all of Japan, actually, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Tokyo would have the highest.
Yeah, the JAA is the majority of them, so if a lot of JAA members go down, that's a big percentage.
All right, I know I'm kind of skipping ahead here to the plot predictions, but I really hope that, like, at some point Slur goes on a big villain speech explaining his entire motivation, and it just doesn't make any fucking sense, and Sakamoto's like, dude, that's stupid. Literally, that's not how anything works.
Like, it's set up like it's supposed to be this, like, Death Note manifesto, and it's just not.
No,
Yeah.
I'm expecting like a whole speech from Slur that's essentially like, don't you think it's fucked up that we have a secret cabal of assassins that secretly run the world? Don't you think that the John Wick world building is really weird and oppressive? And I'm like, what? But this is your world building, dude. Like, you did this.
No, we're here for cool shonen fun. Screw off. But yeah, favorite character, favorite fight. God, I don't know who to put for favorite character because nobody stood out enough to really like shine above anyone else.
No one really got to exist beyond being the hero in their fight.
Yeah.
I guess hair down Lou because I know what I'm about.
I guess if I had to pick a favorite character, Lou with that hair down. Girl.
Hair down Jesse Team Rocket had an undue effect on me as a child, so
Look, I just know what Lou's gonna look like after a night of drinking.
yeah, I'm just being consistent here. Favorite fight though is Sakamoto versus Apart in the Tokyo Tower. I know that Apart's backstory makes absolutely zero sense, but everything
The fight was good.
The fight was good as hell, and God, just something about old man plot convenience showing up and doing a feat of strength to correct the tower falling and endangering hundreds of civilian lives by committing unspeakable property damage with a sword swing is so fucking funny. Oh, all right, Matt, favorite character, favorite fight.
Maybe Osaragi, because she's really not a character. She's just kind of a vibe.
She is a vibe, yeah.
Homeopathic Granny, my favorite character.
There you go.
Body positive homeopathic Granny who's just like, ooh yeah, I love them dad bods. You got to learn to rock that dad bod. Don't go back to your skinny former self. That life has passed you by. You're not a young 20-something. You've got himbo energy, and I'm all about that himbo energy. Yeah, I need a cigarette. Please stop narrating your sexual fantasies to us.
A himbo and a dad bod, it's all I need.
I disabled his ability to fight with that because she did that, right?
Yes, yes, she did.
That is what she did.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a pressure plate that stops you from being able to burn fat.
Yeah. How about you, Jake? Or wait, Matt, that was your favorite character. What's your favorite fight?
Favorite fight has to be the Tokyo Tower. None of the other fights even compare.
True, true. How about you, Jacob?
So gosh, it's honestly between Plot Convenience Grandpa because he's Plot Convenience Grandpa, or
He's great.
or honestly, Matt said not Usaragi because she's less of a character and more of a vibe, but honestly, that's kind of why I like. Uh, I enjoy her vibe.
She is goth GF, but she's also kind of ditzy because while she's in the middle of saying a cool one-liner to Dump, her thought bubble is just Echidna.
I do like her self-loathing. She's just like, I am a killer, so I am garbage, but like that makes it fine to take out the trash, you know?
Yeah. I like her vibe. I'm probably gonna go with her, but I really like Plotkin Grandpa. But yeah, the characters were, other than the 4 new characters not being fantastic, there weren't really any bad characters. Because like even a character like Slur is like goofy and over the top, but he's supposed to be. Like that's a feature, not a bug. Gaku, same thing. So you know, I wish that the serial killers were handled a little bit differently, but the characters were all just there to facilitate the action scenes. As for favorite fight, I'm actually going to be different with this one. I really liked Shin and Lu versus Saw.
That was just a good like shonen fight with like young heroes full of potential reaching the next level on this sacrificial goon of a villain.
Yeah, and the Tokyo Tower fight was bigger. It was more spectacle, but honestly, hard choreography is always going to be something to, and I just enjoyed that fight more. It was more intricate. It was more detailed. It was smaller scale and less bombastic, but in my opinion, to its great benefit. So I'm going to go with that one.
So that was a whole lot of fight. I already did my plot prediction on Slur just being revealed to be like a dunce.
A misanthrope.
A misanthropic dunce, basically. Do you guys have any plot predictions you want to yeet out there?
The one thing I'll say is that I'm kind of hoping, because it's like, okay, so here's the thing. Earlier on in Sakamoto Days, the idea of the plot TM was a far off, almost non-existent thing. Like, it existed to facilitate the premise, and other than that, it was a monster of the week type story. And I didn't really care about the revolving door of villains in that context. But Sakamoto Days has rapidly started actually caring about its plot, and it's still doing a revolving door thing with villains. I really hope that Slur isn't just the puppet of a greater, more an evil BBEG later down the line. Because not for nothing, it really feels like the fight with Slur is like, it feels like it's more than crested the halfway point, and there's 200 plus chapters of the series already out, and it's, as far as I know, not ending anytime soon. It is very much the case where I wonder where they're going with this. And there's a lot of ways that this can work out, but it's sort of funny we made all the references to Jujutsu Kaisen because I don't know if I got I think I was sick the episode where I wanted to explain. I finally figured out what I didn't like about Jujutsu Kaisen. It was the revolving door of characters. I couldn't get endeared to anybody because as soon as somebody showed up, there was like somewhere on the order of like a 50% chance they were just going to die unceremoniously and never be referenced again. And that was the thing I wasn't vibing with, or one of the things I wasn't vibing with. And this section of Sakamoto Days gave me the same impression, especially Dump and minimalism. Those two characters feel like there should have been more to them, and there just wasn't. So I hope that Sakamoto Days can balance its characters, its plot, and its relationship with its gag manga origins mayhaps a bit better in the future.
Yeah. This arc kind of got me to I keep mentioning like the gag manga to shonen battle manga pipeline. And so Shonen Jump does this a lot, and it doesn't work a lot of the time is kind of the problem. Reborn is something that I really liked that gave up on funny nonsense to be like, let's do a battle manga with these people who have broken powers. And this in connection, like this part of Sakamoto Days felt so much like when Reborn started to fall off. And I'm worried what this is going to do is keep getting more serious and have more serious fights, but like with the same insane kind of nonsense that's just not funny anymore. And it kind of feels like it doesn't have a place.
Because like the thing about it is the Shonen Jump stuff that like stays memorable, the stuff that survives is the ones that do that pipeline and like are made better for it. But as Matt said, there's a whole host of Shonen Jump titles that you've probably never heard of that don't make that transition well. And I'm still enjoying what's going on with Sakamoto Days in the broad strokes, but this is giving worrying signs that it might not be able to make that transition gracefully. Hopefully this is just growing pains.
Yeah. Also,
yeah, that's about my thoughts on it too.
Also, I feel like we've ripped the Band-Aid off on how insane the JCC can be. Or
yeah.
The JAA?
The JAA, yeah.
We didn't mention this in the episode, but they have a little annotation that the JCC is the school attached so that you can learn to be an assassin.
Yeah. I was about to say, they've ripped the Band-Aid off on the JAA being like so omnipresent and insane. There is 100% going to be a plot line where they accidentally enroll Sakamoto's daughter in a covert JCC daycare.
Oh, that would be so good.
And he has to go rescue from her learning to be an assassin because he's like, I don't want my daughter to learn the ways of killing. And she's just like, I'm having fun playing games. I'm really good at
it. Pulls out shotgun. That would be so funny.
That's a Spy Family plotline, but I love it.
Oh, that is a Spy Family plotline, actually. That's probably what happened.
Well, no. Actually, it feels like a Spy Family plotline, but it's better in Sakamoto Days because Anya would be fooled by that because she can read minds. So it does actually fit Sakamoto's daughter better. Honestly, that feels like the goofy, fun stuff that, you know, is charming with Sakamoto Days. I hope they do that. Because, I mean, not for nothing, even if you go through the gag manga to serious battle manga pipeline, you still can have levity, funny moments and some really wacky shit. Honestly, the Ginyu Force, like the good series that go through that pipeline still have, humor and whimsy to them. I hope that's something Sakamoto Days does. That's a great idea.
Yeah, so I guess in that case, for the would you continue reading, for me, it's a yes, because I think like right now it has a good balance of goofy shit and serious shit. And I know last time I was like, yeah, I'd absolutely continue reading. It's got like a weird cozy vibe. It's like watching a brain dead shonen anime on a summer's day while you're eating some watermelon. But this is more like, all right, this is kind of harshing the vibe slightly. Not enough for me to walk away, but I don't know. It's on thin ice. How about, and I kind of assume it's the same with you guys.
In all honesty, I definitely continue reading for critiques I gave. And it is worrying, the elements of it having a harsh transition. But that said, even with all of the criticisms I gave, I still had a hell of a lot of fun with this. The fights were absolutely amazing, and the jokes that it did have were pretty darn solid. I laughed at a lot of it. So it's such a breezy read. I definitely am I'm gonna continue reading on my own. It is just because it's so John Wick-y. It kind of makes me wonder how many more episodes we get out of it. If it stays in that vein, it's kind of hard to describe what's going on in a way that isn't just and then this panel happened, and that's not fun to listen to. But yeah, I mean, like even with the critiques and misgivings that have been mentioned, I think it's worth noting. Oh, hell yeah, I'll continue reading. I enjoyed this a lot. Just because something has flaws doesn't mean you have to drop it. Not that that's
Sure.
what Sam was saying, of course, but you know,
Yeah. How about you, Matt?
Yeah, I don't know. It's inoffensive, I guess.
Mm.
I think it kind of suffers from I'm not really sure what it wants to be at this point. It honestly feels like we're one arc away from this being like a battle royale on an island kind of deal.
Mm.
Um, I don't know. I wouldn't continue reading, but like the softest version of that, like it just out of apathy.
Yeah. Like if you heard someone say, "Hey, it gets good," you might pick it up.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
If
gonna
someone
read it
said,
on its own.
"Hey, next arc's really good," I'd read the arc. Would I skip the in between to read the good arc at this point? Probably.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, I understand that. It kind of feels like this is the kind of thing where it's like you almost should maybe skip chunks of it, and then it's like maybe go back and read it when you have the other bits when you have the time or something like that.
I will check
Um,
out the anime though. I'm interested to see these fights in action.
Yeah, seeing some of the stills, it looks good, but you know, those are just stills. It all depends on how good the like actual Sakuga is. This feels like it could be a really Sakuga heavy series.
mm.
Of course, we said the same thing about Blue Lock, and then that became a slideshow. So
That was season 2 of Blue Lock, but yeah.
yeah. But yeah, thank you everybody once again for listening to the Over Manga Cast. As always, you can find us on all your social medias where we are at Over Manga Cast.
You can also find us on YouTube where you can like, comment, and subscribe. Those episodes go up on a 2-week delay, so if you want to catch our up-to-date stuff, you can head over to overmangacast.com. And over there also has a comment section where you can give us recommendations. Tell us that Sakamoto Days gets good. Give us a reason to read more.
Yeah, and as always, we appreciate reviews in any and all forms. Go out, find a place you can give us 5 stars, do it. We love hearing from you. Send us an email, give us recommendations. We love all of them. I think Sakamoto Days has actually been recommended we come back to, and we did. But yeah, so it's the winter anime season, so obviously we got to do what's coming out this month. So winter's also a great time for part 2s and a part 2 for us as well. Hey Sam, what are we reading next week?
We're heading back to Imperial China with the Apothecary Diaries, chapters 15 to 33.
Yay!
I'm excited for my favorite police procedural with a goblin drug addict. Wait, is that just House? Oh God. Anyway,
this has charm.
if you're keeping up,
Shut your whore mouth, Jacob.
all right, wait. Before these two fight to the death, if you're keeping up with the show, read that for next week, and we'll see you all next Thursday. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
You, Jacob.